Is belief in God just a psychological comfort or something eternally real? If you've ever wondered whether your spiritual instincts are natural or conditioned, this video is for you. Through the lens of modern American society, we explore the deep questions behind faith, meaning, and the human mind. Watch now, your answer might be waiting in the very questions you've been asking. Welcome to Axis of Curiosity, a space where we explore life's biggest questions with open minds and thoughtful hearts. In today's episode, we're diving into a timeless dilemma. Is belief in God a product of psychological need, or does it point to an eternal truth? In a world shaped by science, doubt, and evolving spirituality, this question matters more than ever. If you find value in deep reflection and honest exploration, make sure to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more conversations that challenge, inspire, and awaken. Let's stay curious together. The search for meaning in modern America reflects a deep and growing inner tension within individuals and communities alike. As traditional religious structures lose influence, many Americans find themselves navigating life without the clear moral compass or existential framework that previous generations inherited. The rapid pace of life, the pressures of individualism, and the digital age's constant noise have only intensified the desire to understand one's place in the world. Psychologist Rollo May once observed that the chief problem of people in the modern world is emptiness. In response, people turn to alternative spiritual practices, self-help ideologies, or personal development movements, each promising a sense of fulfillment. Yet even these often fail to offer the enduring meaning that belief in a higher power once provided. For some, God remains the answer, a timeless presence that offers purpose and coherence. For others, the concept of God itself is questioned as a psychological invention, shaped by human need rather than objective truth. In this landscape, the American psyche wrestles with whether belief is an inner necessity, a cultural inheritance, or a gateway to something transcendent and real. In times of crisis, loss, or uncertainty, many people instinctively turn to the idea of God not just for answers, but for emotional grounding. In American society, where individualism and self-reliance are deeply valued, moments of vulnerability often reveal the human need for something greater, something steady. Psychologists like Carl Jung argued that the idea of God functions as an archetype of wholeness, a symbol that helps the psyche find balance during inner turmoil. For countless individuals, belief becomes a lifeline in the face of anxiety, grief, or the unknown. Prayer, even when not tied to formal religion, provides a sense of connection and stability. But does emotional comfort imply illusion? Critics argue that people believe simply because it feels good, yet comfort itself doesn't disprove truth. A shelter can be both emotionally reassuring and structurally real. In an unpredictable world, God becomes more than a theological idea, he becomes a psychological anchor. For modern Americans navigating a landscape of shifting values and increasing uncertainty, the emotional role of belief may not only explain its persistence but reveal something essential about the human soul. Throughout human evolution, belief in a higher power has persisted across cultures, suggesting it may serve a deeper purpose than mere tradition. Some evolutionary psychologists argue that religious belief offered early humans a survival advantage, fostering group cohesion, moral behavior, and shared rituals that strengthened community bonds. The idea that God is watching may have encouraged accountability long before written laws existed. However, others suggest that belief is more than just a tool for survival. It points to a genuine spiritual impulse rooted in human consciousness. Neuroscientific studies have shown that the brain is wired to seek patterns and meaning, often interpreting the unknown through a spiritual lens. In modern America, where scientific thought coexists with spiritual yearning, this dual function becomes especially apparent. Belief in God may serve both psychological needs such as comfort, belonging, and moral grounding, and reflect a deeper, intuitive sense that something greater exists. As Americans increasingly question inherited doctrines while exploring new spiritual paths, the evolution of belief appears not to be fading but transforming, shifting from institutional religion to personal spirituality, yet still tethered to the timeless question of why we believe at all. Emerging research in neuroscience has sparked intriguing debates about whether belief in God is biologically embedded in the human brain. Some scientists point to what's colloquially known as the God spot regions of the brain, particularly the temporal and parietal lobes, that are activated during spiritual or religious experiences. These neural patterns suggest that humans may be neurologically predisposed to seek connection with something greater than themselves. Dr. Andrew Newberg, a leading researcher in neurotheology, has shown through brain scans that meditative and prayerful states often produce measurable changes in brain activity, enhancing feelings of peace, unity, and transcendence. But does this mean belief is merely a product of brain chemistry, or do these neural responses indicate that the brain is designed to perceive a spiritual reality? In modern American discourse, this tension reflects a broader philosophical divide between those who see religious experience as an evolutionary adaptation and those who view it as a window into the divine. As science continues to explore the mechanics of belief, it raises deeper questions about whether faith is a neurological illusion or a pathway toward eternal truth, embedded in our very biology. In today's post-religious American society, traditional religious affiliation is steadily declining, yet the longing for spiritual meaning remains alive. A growing number of Americans now identify as nones, those who claim no formal religion yet. Many of them still believe in some form of higher power or universal force. This shift doesn't signal the end of belief, but rather a transformation in how it is expressed. Organized religion, often criticized for its rigidity, historical abuses, or perceived irrelevance, is being replaced by more personalized, fluid spiritual practices. People curate their own belief systems, blending mindfulness, social justice, environmental ethics, and ancient wisdom traditions. Despite this fragmentation, moral and existential questions still persist about suffering, purpose, love, and death. Religion, once the dominant framework for answering these questions, now competes with psychology, philosophy, and even social media. Yet the ethical and communal functions of religion, offering belonging, ritual, and a shared story, continue to echo in secular spaces. In this evolving landscape, the American soul appears to be searching not for religion in its old form, but for something that feels sacred, authentic, and aligned with the values of a modern, diverse society. As belief in a personal God declines across much of American society, a deeper question begins to surface. If not God, then what fills the space left behind? For many, science offers a framework rooted in evidence and reason, but it often falls short in addressing the emotional and existential dimensions of human life, questions about love, morality, suffering, and the mystery of consciousness. Others turn to humanism, seeing value and meaning as emerging from our relationships, creativity, and shared human experience. Some find solace in nature, the cosmos, or the idea of interconnectedness without invoking a deity. Still, the absence of a transcendent anchor leaves a kind of metaphysical hunger. Is the universe purely accidental, or is there an unseen order that gives it meaning? In the American cultural imagination, where self-determination is prized, many seek to become their own moral compass, yet this can lead to a fragile sense of grounding. The enduring question remains, can a life built without God still offer the same depth, purpose, and awe that religious belief once provided? And if not God, then what power, if any, holds the center of our inner world? The question of whether belief in God arises from psychological need or reflects an eternal truth may not require an either-or answer. Human beings are complex, capable of deep emotional longing and intellectual curiosity at the same time. The fact that belief offers comfort in times of grief or fear does not necessarily invalidate its truth. In fact, that very comfort might point towards something real, something transcendent. Just as hunger points to the existence of food, perhaps the longing for God suggests a deeper reality beyond ourselves. In modern America, where skepticism and spirituality often collide, many are beginning to accept that the human need for meaning, love, and belonging might not oppose eternal truth but lead us toward it. Psychological benefit and metaphysical reality may not be enemies, they may be companions on the journey. Thank you for watching this episode of Axis of Curiosity. If this video gave you something to reflect on, please give it a like, share it with others, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more thoughtful explorations. Stay curious, stay grounded, and keep asking the questions that matter most.